Welcome to Opening Soon, a podcast where we interview retail founders about how they started and run their brick and mortar businesses. I'm your host, Alan Lee. I run Signs and Mirrors, where we make beautiful signs and furniture for retail stores. I also help run Photolab, a self-portrait studio with locations in New York City and Houston. Today's guest, Edouard Benitah, is the co-founder of Pari Pari, a hand-roll bar in Miami's Wynwood district. Originally from Paris, Edouard moved to the US in 2015, working his way up from server to general manager across restaurants in New York City and California. After falling in love with the hand-roll bar model in LA, he decided to bring the concept to Miami. In this episode, we dive into how Edouard teamed up with Michelin-starred chef Yasu Tanaka, navigated Miami's notoriously difficult permitting process with over 54 inspections, raised $1 million to open his first location, and built the brand with the goal of expanding to 6 locations across the city. This is a great episode for anyone interested in launching a food concept in a competitive market. All right. Hey, Edouard, thanks so much for joining the Opening Soon podcast.
Hey, Alan. Thank you for the invitation.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited about today's episode because I know that Pari Pari, the hand-roll bar in Miami, is going to open in just a couple weeks. So we'll get to spend a lot of time into all the nitty and gritty of opening an actual brick and mortar space. So before we start, could you give a little bit of your background and how you got here?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm from France. I'm originally from Paris, and I moved to the US, to New York in 2015, and I start my journey in the restoration industry. So I start with the position of server in a restaurant in New York, and after I became a manager plus general manager in different space, always around the restoration industry and the food and beverage industry. And I have always in mind to create my own concept. And I discovered like the concept of hand-roll bar in LA in 2016 or 17. I don't really remember, but I think 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm totally a big fan of the concept because like when you came from the food and beverage industry, it's really great because you don't have a lot of server, you don't have a lot of operation. So the operation is really, really easy.
Yeah.
Plus, I really love the hand-roll. So it was really a match with the hand-roll bar, and I continue my I would say like life in LA. During the COVID, I need to move back in Paris, and after like 1 year in Paris, I moved to Miami. And in Miami, actually, it don't have a hand-roll bar when I came in like 2020 or 2021. And so with a friend of mine, we just sit and say, okay, we need to create something about hand-roll in Miami because that's crazy.
Yeah.
You have some hand-roll all over the world and all over the US. Like in New York, you have like maybe 20 different brands. You have one in Washington, in Chicago, in some smaller cities than Miami, but really nothing in Miami. So we met a chef at this time. He became actually our chef. His name is Yasu Tanaka. And for be honest, he's one of the best chefs in Miami, Michelin stars and everything. He's really a great chef, really famous in Miami. And we started the conversation with him like now maybe 3 years ago. And he totally understands the concept. And during like 2 months, we met the chef and we met some investors. So really the concept like it was created really during this time.
That's exciting. Before we dive in, tell me a little bit more about your experience in New York City restaurants. And I know that you said you like the hand roll concept because it's not as complicated as maybe a traditional full service dining. So what type of restaurants were you working on in New York City?
Actually, I work in a French restaurant, obviously.
Yeah, I see.
So it was really easy for me to work in a kind of French restaurant because I'm French. So for be honest, it was really better for me about the language and everything. So that helped me a lot. And after that, like I'm really like kind of discover like the restoration industry during this time about like the people, the energy in the restaurant, you exchange with people and everything. I really love all the F&B, like hospitality and everything. And so I used to work like 3 years in New York, and after I moved to LA. So yeah.
Was the hand roll bar in LA that you tried, was that like Kazunori or one of the more popular ones?
Yeah, it was the first one. It was Kazunori, exactly. Like today is always like Kazunori is like the first one is like the real one, I would say.
Yeah, no, I've been to the one in LA. I think they have multiple, and they have a couple in New York now too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a fun spot. Cool. And then tell me about your move to Miami. What prompted the move there, and why did you choose that as your destination for opening this store?
Actually, one of my best friends who I used to live in New York and in LA, moved to Miami, and he told me a lot of great things about Miami. During this time, I was in Paris, and it was not really a fun time in Paris. It was COVID and everything. So, and I don't really know what I can do in Paris. It was a little bit complicated. And he told me, look, I have a really great friend of mine. He have a restaurant in Miami. He's looking for a GM, so maybe that can fit and everything. So I say, okay, I directly call the guy, and he told me, okay, you need to come in Miami just to make a training like for a few days, and we see what's happened. And finally, it was a big match with this guy. His name is Ben, and he was really cool and everything. So I'm come back to Paris to do my visa. And with my visa, I moved back to Miami like maybe 3 or 4 months after, just the time to get my visa. And I start to work at the GM. So the name of the restaurant is Café Bastille, like for 4 to 5 months. And like after like 3 months at Café Bastille, I discovered it don't have an roll bar in Miami. So I was really focused on the concept of opening the enroll bar in Miami. So I quit my job at Café Bastille to be totally focused on the concept of enroll bar. So I don't really choose Miami, but I'm really happy actually.
I see. But this time you were really interested in the hand roll bar concept and you quit your job. So what are the next steps between quitting your job?
Actually, the first step is really to meet the chef because like me and my partners, we are not chef. We are like entrepreneur and everything, but we are not chef. So we really need a great chef. So the first things for me, and actually I'm a big fan of food and Japanese food really. So the first thing to do is really to find a great chef that can fit with the project. And for me, honest, it was a dream with my partners to work with this chef. So the negotiation is a little bit long and complicated, but finally we signed the contract with him. And so yeah, that's really the first step to quit my job is when we signed the contract with the chef.
I see. Talk to me a little bit about your partners. Are these your friends? Are these other people? How did you meet them?
Actually, I have two partners and co-founders. So Hugo is one of my best friends for a long time, and we really have the envy to open a concept together. So it was really good. We are in the same city with the same idea and everything. So it was really good. And Ben, my other partners, actually, he living in Paris at this time, and he really want to go in Miami and everything, and he also a big fan of concept about restoration and everything. So we fit all together to create this concept. So we have 3 co-founders plus some investors.
Okay. Are there specific roles that each of you take throughout this project, or is it, hey, here's 3 friends that want to do something together and let's do it?
At the beginning, it was just some 3 friends want to doing something together.
Yeah.
After months, we decide to put some role on everyone. So yeah, now like the role is really specific to Hugo, to Ben, and to me. We don't work on the same subject, and we are really complementary. So that's good.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what you focus on and what Hugo and Ben focuses on?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Hugo is really focused on all the development, to raise the money and really about the development of the concept. He talk a lot with investors, some real estate agent to find some new places, to find some money to create the business. But he's not in hand in the operational of the restaurant every day. And he's more like a marketing side, brand manager, and really about the brand because we want to create something like with a big brand. Like for me right now, like brand with a lot of value come really from some F&B industry. It's really amazing. So we really need to create a strong brand. So that's the part of Ben. And me, I'm more on the operational of the restaurant. I'm really inside the restaurant about the food, the relationship with the chef, with the servers. So we have one pole like for the development, one for the brand and the marketing, and one for the restaurant, the recipe, the chef, the waiters, like the cocktails and everything, and all the atmosphere inside the restaurants.
I see. Okay, no, that's really helpful in just better understanding who's doing what.
Sure.
Now you have this good team and this good base to start off with. Is the next step, as you mentioned, to raise money, or was it to look at spaces? What next step did you take?
Actually, we open in 2 weeks, so for now we are all focused to the opening and to make something great for the opening. But yeah, like I say, we have some few investors, and we need to we really want to open like a 3 to 4 location in the next 5 years. And in Miami, that take a long time to open a location. So we know like for the next 6, 7, 8 months, I would say, we're going to be really focused in the restaurants inside. And actually, this one is really a proof of concept. We really need to prove the concept with this first location.
Yeah.
that. We want to open the next one in 1 year and maybe the third one in 2 years. But we really want to scale as fast as we can.
Sure, but give me a little bit of the timeline because you're about to open in 2 weeks. But when did the concept come together for you and also your chef Yasu, and how long did that take before getting to this point?
Actually, that take like maybe 1 year, but we work on the project for 3 years because in Miami, all the permits from the city, the construction took a lot of time. So to create the concept, to create the brand, the menu, the recipe and everything, that doesn't take a lot of time, but all the construction part, that took really a long time.
I
So
see.
that's why we know we need to really work before on the second location to be ready like for in 1 year or 1 year and a half.
Yeah, so you had the concept 3 years ago, but all the construction and all the nitty-gritty started happening about a year ago.
Exactly. The time to find the money, to find the space, to find the GC, to find the architect, and this is like 6-7 months, and after is like maybe 2 years and a half, 2 years to get all the permit, all the license, and to
Wow.
make all the construction. Yeah, it's huge in Miami to do the construction. It's really complicated.
How much did you have to raise for this proof of concept? And to open a spot in Miami that's taking quite a bit of time, how much does it even cost to open something like this?
We raised like around 1 million.
About $1 million raised.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then is that all going towards sort of the opening or a bit of that for future locations?
It's really for the first location. It's really only for the first location. But with the million, we also create the brand, the infrastructure and everything. So for the second one, we're not going to need 1 million to open the second location, obviously. But for the first one, we create the brand, we create all the image of the brand. So yeah.
I see.
We need to get also the visa, everything. So the first one is the more complicated one, I think.
Yeah.
I hope, actually.
I hope so too, and I think it will. Tell me about how you decided, the location in Wynwood, how you chose the designers to help you, how you created the brand. Walk me through all the nitty-gritty of going through those steps.
So actually, Wynwood, it's because we have a great opportunity about the space. We have a friend of us just opened a restaurant just in front. So he talk about this area and this street actually because it's really new. It's brand new, all the building and everything. The height, it's amazing in the space. So you have a lot of light and everything. So when we see a space, we say, okay, it's this one for sure. And actually, I think in Miami, it's really like a destination place. Like the people don't walk in the street and say, oh, this is cool or this is cool. No, they take the car and say, okay, we're going to go there. We're going to go there. Like in Paris, for example, because we're from Paris, like the people can walk in the street and discover some stuff and everything that happened. But
Yeah.
in Miami, that's never happened. Like everyone is in the car and everything. He just put the address on Google Maps and he go directly to the restaurants. So yes, it's really like the architecture of the space was really amazing with a big height, a lot of concrete. So the space was really good. Actually, like Ben and me, my other co-founder, we have a big fan of architecture and everything. So the space was really important for us. So that's how we find the first location.
I see.
For the architecture plane, I would say, we work with 2 different architects from France. One for all like the technical part and the other one more for the decorative part and everything. And both of us are really great and I'm really happy with the space right now. The construction is great and all the different details are really amazing. And for be honest, I think it's not every day you can see space like that in Miami because all the different details are really tailored and everything. So for be honest, we work a lot of all the different details of the restaurant and everything, but at the same time, work with a French architect when you have a project in Miami is not really easy, if I can be honest with you.
Yeah.
They are not the same rules. They are not the same metrics. So sometimes it's a little bit complicated, but I think on the same time, it's also like why the space is going to be different from the other space in Miami because it's a French touch. We have a French touch on the architectural plane and everything. So I think that's going to be good.
I love that. How big is this space that you're in?
It's like 1,200 square feet. So it's not a huge space. It's not a huge space. It just around the counter. We have 25 seats around the counter. So it's not a big place. That's another thing in the, I would say like in the concept, we don't want to create like a place like with a lot of table. We want to create an intimate place, like something of the people can come every day and really feel like at home. Like the goal is really to create something or us by guests, we're going to be really happy to be there every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So 1,200 square feet, and you can fit about 25 seats around
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
counter. Okay, that's cool. And how much does a space like that go for in, Wynwood in
Like
Miami right now?
the rent, you mean?
Yeah, the rent.
The rent is 9K per month.
9K per month.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned there was also a lot of permitting that you had to get and receive before you're able to open. I imagine that's a lot due to maybe like the cooking and the equipment. Talk me through some of the permits and what took a long time to get here.
You have 2 hours for talking about time because bro,
Just
like
just just 1 hour. Give me the short version.
yeah. Oh, the thing is like just for give you an example, we passed 54 inspection, 54. So 54 different inspectors come to the space to verify everything, everything.
Wow.
Like for I give you an example, but if you decide to put an outlet like here and finally you put it like here, yeah, we need to revise all the plane to resend to the city. That can take 4 months just if you decide to move a little bit one outlet. So for be honest, it was crazy, crazy.
Is this a Miami specific ruling, or
Yeah.
is this like also New York City,
No,
or is it other places?
in Miami, it's really crazy. It's really different than New York or LA. In Miami, it's really that took really more time in Miami than in other city. I don't know why, for be honest, but it's really complicated. And all the different person who I talk gonna open a restaurant and everything, it's always the same story. That took like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They spend like million and million on construction. So yeah, that's really crazy.
Wow. So for you guys, it took just about a year to get to this point to open. If you were to open in New York, how many months do you think it would take you?
For be honest, I think like half of the time, like one
Half
year
the
and a half.
time.
Yeah, I think 1 year and 1 year and half is going. I think so. I never opened a restaurant in New York, so I'm not really sure. But in my ID and when I talk to my friend and everything, that's what I understand.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess it's a bit of a double-edged sword because it's taking so long and so much money to open, it makes it more difficult for other restaurants to open and, copy the concept or do something similar. So
Totally,
could be a
totally.
benefit.
And the thing is, like, for be honest with you, you have a lot of different entrepreneurs in the restaurant industry try to open a restaurant in Miami, and after like 1 year and a half or 2 years, he pay rent, he pay architects, they pay start the construction, everything, but it's too much money, and they quit the concept just like before the opening. And I was really scary of this during all the construction and everything. But finally we find the solution and we're gonna open in 2 weeks. But yeah, it's really, really hard for be honest. And even for the big group, for the big hospitality group, or they open a many location in New York and in LA, when they come in Miami, it's complicated. It's always complicated.
So you have personal friends that have spent a lot of money to try to open and they didn't even open because it was just too much.
I have not personal friends, but I like a friend who knows some people and everything, tell me the story. And actually, it's really famous in Miami. It's really complicated. So a lot of guys from South America or from Europe try to open some space in Miami, but it's so expensive that takes so much time. So finally, they quit.
Knowing what you know now and how difficult it is to open a space in Miami, would you have chose Miami to open your first restaurant or would you have chose New York or LA?
No, I think Miami is a good choice because actually I don't have a real competitor in Miami, so it's really, really amazing. And I think it's kind of a new city, like the city move every day, that change every day. No, I think Miami is a good choice. It's
You
a good
think
choice.
it's a good choice?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because people in Miami haven't experienced the hand roll bar or the way that you want to have them experience it, how are you educating consumers about this new concept?
Actually, like, first of all, we work with one of the great chefs of Miami. So just this name it's really famous in Miami. So I think they're gonna bring a lot of people just to get the name of Yasu Tanaka under Pari
Hmm.
Pari. And also, like, the enroll is not famous in Miami, but the people know enroll. They're gonna eat enroll like at just a regular sushi place or Japanese place. Like for example, like my chef do some enroll at this place, but it's not a enroll bar. The concept is not to do just enroll. And the people knows enroll because I don't have a competitor, but I have place are doing some enroll like at the end of the menu. For example, they have 2 or 3 enroll, so they know what is the enroll. But I think they want to discover some new concept, so they're gonna be happy to find a new concept. And for be honest, like the food is gonna be really amazing and not really expensive. The space it's really, really beautiful. So we really try to make something great on all the different subjects: the architecture, the food, the price, the music, the atmosphere, the vibe. Like on all the different subjects, we try to work with the best and to do something really great.
Yeah. Is that how did you guys find our signs for your sidewalk?
Actually, I find it on Instagram. I see your page and I see a lot of pictures of different guys order some sign from you. They wrote on the sign and it was really good. I really love the pieces. It's exactly what I said before. We try on all the different details to do the best.
I know.
On the sign, I think you are the best. So we try to use really all the different assets we can to do something great.
Well, based on our relationship, I know that you must be working with the best for all your other pieces too. So I'm happy to hear that. Tell me a little bit more about the relationship with Yasu Tanaka. And he seems like he has his own sushi restaurant in Miami and he's pretty popular. How does that relationship work? Is it based on like a consulting fee? Is he a partner in the business? Does he design the menu? How does that work exactly?
Actually, like at the beginning, we really want to get Yasu as a partner of the concept. We pay a lot of lawyers to make some big contract, like with 8-9 pages and everything. And when we send the contract, Yasu called me and told me, I really appreciate your effort and everything, but it's totally not what I want. I really want to get like a family deal. Like we are friends and everything. I want something simple. I don't want to make like too much complication and everything. And he told me at this time, I have already 2 restaurants and he opened a 3rd restaurant, like it's going to be a omakase, really high-end, like 400 per person and everything. So he told me, I'm not going to be like the chef every day of your restaurant. I'm going to do the recipe. I'm going to form all your staff. You can use my name for the PR and everything, but I'm not going to be the chef every day at the restaurant. And for me, it was really good because actually Enroll Bar don't need a chef as Yasu Tanaka every day for the daily routine of the operation.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really the best deal. He gave me the recipe, the provider, and also he formed all my staff, and that's the most important thing. So at the beginning, it was that. So it was just a consulting, and finally, like 1 month ago, I think like we are closer and closer with Yasu. Like every day we talk and everything. So we have right now a really good relationship. And
Nice.
he said, look, I really want to be part of the concept with you guys, not just as a consulting fee and everything, but here with you every day and everything. So we changed the contracts just like 2 weeks ago. And now he's going to be more involved in the restaurant and everything with us.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I know that you mentioned that this is not just the one location here and you want it to be a much bigger thing. Tell me a bit more about your ambition of, what you think Pari Pari is going to be.
Actually, the goal is really, like I said, to create a big brand, like really famous and everything. And I think in Miami, it's kind of easy with the geography to open like 5 or 6 locations. Just with the geography, we can really like be all over the city with 5 or 6 locations. So that's really our goal. And we have a lot of example in Miami with some pizza place, with some like breakfast place. They open the first one and after they put one over there, one in South Beach, one in Aventura, for example. So with 5 or 6 locations, we can get all over the city. So that's really our goal to start to be like the Enroll Bar in Miami. And after to expand maybe in Florida, maybe in Dubai, I don't know, we can expand all over the US. But for now, we are really focused in Florida and Miami.
I see. Ahead of your opening in a couple weeks, what is taking up most of your time? What's keeping you up at night?
Actually, it's all different subjects. It's just one subject, it's all different subjects.
Everything.
Yeah, the thing is like now, we have a lot of time to work on all the different subjects. So like the hiring people, like the recipe, all of this stuff are already done. Like we have a lot of time to work on that. So now all of this is done. And now it's more about details in the restaurant, like decoration stuff, what we're going to put on the shelf, what we're going to do, like when the people come for wash their hands. It's a lot of different details like that. But we really want to create like a vibe like with 100%, like when the guest just came in the restaurant and when you leave in the restaurant, they're going to have a lot of different things, like all the details in the restroom, like we try to be better on the recipe, on change a little things and everything. Like just yesterday, we do a tasting with the chef to just change a little things. Like at the beginning, we have just some radish and we decide to chop the radish, but finally that changed everything because it's more crispy. So it's really about details. It's really about details.
So you're really focused on making sure every detail is perfect right before you open.
Exactly.
Okay. I know that you also have been doing a bit of marketing and trying to get the word out about Pari Pari. And I think you were mentioned as one of the top 8 most anticipated openings in, I think, the Miami Herald.
Yeah.
How did you get those pieces of press Did you reach out to them yourself? Did you have PR?
No, we have a PR agency, actually. We work with a PR agency for 3 months now, and the agency are really great. Actually, the Enroll Bar, it's a new concept in Miami, so it's easy for the press to make some content and everything because it's a new concept. Plus, we have Yasu Tanaka. We are really, really famous in Miami. So I think the combination between the new concept plus Yasu Tanaka in a cool space with a crazy architecture and everything, I think it's like really good for the press. So
Yeah.
that's how we get the first article, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about working with this PR agency. How helpful have they been? How many articles do they get you? Because I think this is a thing that a lot of people who are opening brick and mortar spaces consider. Should I work with PR or should I not? Tell me about your experience.
Actually, for now, we have only one article, but because we open in 2 weeks, so we don't need to get as much as article before the opening.
Yeah.
But it's a lot about advice, which, like, for example, like for friend and family before the opening, like how we're going to send the invitation, what's going to be the food, if the guest going to pay or no, when is the best day to launch the restaurant, when is the best day to launch the Instagram. Like, for give an example, we didn't launch Instagram for now because you can see like restaurant in Miami, they say like 6 months ago open in 2 weeks and finally they're going to open like 2 years after. Because Miami, it's crazy about this. So we decide to don't open the Instagram now. All the content is ready and everything. But we really decide to open like 10 days before to get really great content every day and not to be postponed like it's going to be in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, in 1 month. So it's a lot about advice with the PR agency. And for now, we have like some first article in the Miami Time. Plus, we work with some different media right now to get some article at the opening. So yeah, I think the PR agency, it's really necessary when you open a restaurant. Like, we decide to don't take a marketing team because, for be honest, I don't really understand what a marketing team can do for a restaurant at the beginning. But PR agency and the relationship between the press and the restaurant, it's really important for me.
I see. Tell me about how you came up with the name Pari Pari, what it represents. I think it has some Parisian roots to it.
Actually, we think a lot about the name, but really, really a lot. Actually, all the three co-founders, we think a lot about a lot of detail and a lot of things. But the name, but the name, we're thinking like maybe for 2 months about the name. And we came to Miami to visit Yasu and everything. And when we talk to Yasu, I say, look, if you find a name for the restaurant, you are looking for a name like a little bit funny and everything. If you have something in mind, just tell me. Say, okay, no problem. And 2 hours after, he sent me a text and he say, look, I find an ID for your restaurant. The name is going to be could be Pari Pari. And I remember like exactly when I am at this time, I was in the car with my two friends and co-founder, and we say, okay, Yasu, that could be a good idea, but we are not really sure about Pari Pari and everything because we are from Paris. And like when you're from Paris and everything, you have some space in Paris, Pari Pari and everything, but there are like some bistros, French cafe, you know, it's not really Japanese. And he told me Pari Pari in Japanese, without the S at the end, mean crispy. Crispy is one of the most important things in the end roll. The nori, like the seaweed, needs to be crispy.
Yes.
So Pari Pari make a lot of sense. Why not? Because you have the sense about we're all from Paris, so that's funny because we're from Paris and everything. Plus, that's a real meaning in Japanese with a relation with the concept. And also, it's easy to understand and easy to save in your head. You know what I mean? Like Pari Pari, it's catchy. So finally, like 2 weeks after, I say, okay, Pari Pari, it's great. It's all the different things we need in the name are in Pari Pari. So I say, okay, Pari Pari, it's perfect.
I see.
So it's from the chef.
Yeah, I love the blend. I didn't realize it also meant crunchy, but yeah, the worst thing is going to a hand roll bar and things are soggy. So you want things to be very crunchy. How much research and trying other hand roll bars like Kazunori or the ones in New York did you have to do to come up with Pari Pari and influence the menu there and differentiate yourself?
A lot, for be honest, a lot. But this is not a work. It's plus a pleasure. You know what I mean? Like when you need to discover a new hand roll bar, it's really a pleasure, and it's not like something related to work for us. You know what I mean? So we not just discover a new concept, but it's just not about enroll. We also like discover new concept about Japanese food. Like we went to New York like 1 month ago to find also some new concepts, some new different way to serve the enroll. So you have a lot of different things. But this is all the different details that we love. We really love this kind of thing. So it's really a pleasure to discover some new places. But we check every day on Instagram, on everything. We follow like some account like about like Japanese food, new restaurant in New York, in Miami, and everything. And when we find something really interesting, we go to New York. We go to the new place to check all the details, how they do this, how they do that, to find the best way to do it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do see hand roll bars popping up in New York quite frequently. There's one across the street called Rolling. We recently went to one called Nami Nori that was
Yeah,
also pretty good.
yeah.
Um,
Naminori just opened in Miami actually.
oh,
That's
they
why.
open too.
Yeah, but for me, Naminori, it's great. The food is amazing, but it's not really a hand-roll bar. It's not.
Hmm,
It's like between Kazunori and Naminori, it's really not the same. You know what I mean?
I see. Tell me what you mean specifically.
Actually, for me, Naminori is plus like a regular restaurant. Like on the menu, you can find a lot of appetizers, a lot of entry,
Yep.
plus some hand-roll. But
Yes,
it's just the concept is not about hand-roll. It's a Japanese restaurant with some hand-roll. You know what I mean?
I
And
see.
I give you an example. In the restaurant in Miami, you have a bar, but you have also a lot of tables. So you can order some hand-roll to the tables. So you talk with the server. It's not a paper like at Kazunori. You know what I mean? So it's not really the same concept. You have a lot of server. Actually, Naminori, it's a wheel restaurant with a wheel kitchen, with a wheel team. Like
Mm,
they have some busser, some server, some bartender. So it's not the same concept. Kazunori, you have only the cook and a few server, like 2 or 3 maybe, and that's it.
I see.
They don't have coffee. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
really about the end roll.
And for Pari Pari, how many employees will you have staffed up for each night?
For each night, actually, me and Ben, we're gonna be here every day.
Okay.
Plus, we're gonna have like 2 cooks, 1 dishwasher, and maybe 1 server.
Okay. So you guys will be front of house or welcoming the customers, and
Yeah,
then everyone
exactly.
else will be serving their respective
Yeah,
roles?
exactly. And I think for us, it's really important to be the face of the restaurant because actually, like Naminori, for give you an example, when they open in Miami, the founder of Naminori are not here. So they are just
Mm,
some managers or some general manager and everything. And for me, that changed everything. When you go to a place and the owner are here, you can feel the touch, you can feel everything when the owner are here. For me, that totally changed. And a lot of concepts open in Miami, from New York, from LA, just with a manager or a general manager. But you don't feel the vibe, you don't feel really the things because the owner are not here and they didn't put the last touch to finish the concept.
just based on this conversation, I can imagine if I went to Pari Pari and you weren't there, it'd be a completely different experience. Because I can feel your passion and your
I hope
enthusiasm.
not, because the goal is to open many locations, so I'm not going to be in all the different locations at the same time. But we try to do something, yeah, with not a lot of rules, but just we need to respect like identity of the restaurants
Yeah.
and all the services, the hospitality. We are all French, and for us, the hospitality is really important. Like to really the guests feel like really like at home when then they are in the restaurant and everything. The hospitality is a big point for us.
Yeah. As a French person opening a Japanese concept, talk to me about what you're able to bring in from the French side to help complement this Japanese hand roll bar.
Okay, actually, we are big fan of the Japanese culture, so we don't really put a lot of French touch in the Japanese things. Like actually, all the identity of the brand and the architecture and everything, I think we can feel the French touch. You can feel it's not from the US first, and also we work and our first investors is Yann Couvreur. Yann Couvreur is a really great chef, really famous in Paris, in Europe. He have
Hmm.
a lot of locations, like more than 20 in France, more than 5 or 6 in Dubai. He have in Asia, in Korea. He have a lot of locations. He is really, really famous. He's one of the first investors, actually. So all the desserts come from Yann Couvreur. So the food, the end rolls, is going to be done by Yasu Tanaka, but the dessert is going to do by Yann Couvreur.
I
So
see.
that's the first French touch. Us, all the wine and the champagne, obviously, are from France. With some really, we try to get a good selection because we are French, so we need to have a good selection of French wine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about the wine, about the dessert. On the playlist, for give you an example, on the playlist we put a lot, not, but a few of French songs just to get a little memory of France.
I love that. I love that. And you mentioned this investor. For the other investors that came in, how did you reach out to them? Were these families and friends, connections throughout the restaurant industry?
Mostly it's friend and family. For be honest, mostly it's friend and family. Actually, the amount of money to find it was not like a few million and everything. So it was really easy to work with friend and family. And Hugo really take care of this part about raise the money and everything. But yeah, it's mostly friend and family. But we really want to have like some investors like related to the business. like Jan Couvreur is in the food industry. He worked with the chef from like more than 10 years. So he really understands the food business. They opened like they opened the first location in Wynwood like 2 years ago. They just opened in Design District in Miami, and they're going to open in Aventura Mall in a few weeks. So they try to expand a lot of Miami. So they have a lot of sense for us to work with Jan Couvreur, because they have a lot of knowledge how to scale a business in the US and everything. We have some close friends also. We knows like from many years, so they really knows how we work and what we can do in the hospitality. And we have one of the founder of Dorsia. It's an application to book a restaurant and everything. So same, you have a lot of sense for us to have someone in the industry can get some advice and everything. So to do a dream team. We need to do a dream team with all the different positions, with some guy can be related to the business.
Yeah. Edouard, for people who are interested in opening a food concept that they're excited about, what's one piece of advice that you would have for them?
It's a good question. I think we just need to visualize a lot your concept as much as you can. Like, for be honest, like, I think you need to be like strict on what you think and go forward. Like, to find one thing is like, yeah, to don't give up, because in Miami, for example, it's really hard, it's really long. So the goal is to don't give up and to put like as much as honesty as you can of what we do. Like for us, it's really important. And at the beginning, we say, okay, but we're going to open a restaurant in Miami, a Japanese restaurant, but we are French. So we need to find a way to don't be like ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like we are not Japanese, we are not from the US. So we need to adapt as much as we can. And also, I think the most important thing in the US, in the restaurant industry, is to really be adapt to the US people, because the US people are not going to be adapt to you. So we really need to find the way to understand how they eat, how they drink, and really to fit in our
Yeah. Because you're opening in Miami and because you've spent time in New York, how would you describe the differences between a New York City customer versus a Miami customer?
Actually, the New York City customers for me is really more, comment on peut dire, genre pointu.
Picky.
Yeah, it's really more picky, exactly.
Picky. New York is very picky. Yeah.
They are really more picky. And for me, it's kind of better because you have a lot of competitors in New York. So you have really, really a lot. Like for Enroll Bar, for example, you have like 20 different brands have some Enroll Bar in New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guests can be picky because they can judge and compare with other concepts and everything. So yes, they are really much picky. I think that's that's really the huge difference. And New York is like for me, New York is a laboratory. You can really taste your concept in New York, and if they work in New York, they're going to work in all over the world. You know what I mean? So that's really different. In Miami, they are less picky, but at the same time, they are not the same cultures as in New York to discover a lot of things and everything. So yeah, that's really different. In Miami, I think we need to have really a brand really strong.
In Miami, you need a stronger brand. And then in New York, people are much more picky because they have a lot more options to go to. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I've heard that many times.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Well, Edouard, looking back on your journey so far over the last 3 years, thinking of the concept, working on the concept, and knowing what you know now, if you could go back and change any one thing, what would you have changed?
It's a good question. I never think about this, but my first things to say, I think I will change nothing, for be honest. I will change nothing because that's why we are here now, because we manage things day by day and we have really a good team. We talk every day, and I think it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, for me, like, in French, you have a lot of sense to say that and everything, but it's not the goal. It's like the world to go to the goal. You know what I mean? And we are in the world right now, so I don't want to change the world. Like it is, and for be honest, it's just good memory, good things. It was hard, it was long. You need to find money and everything, but at the end, we are really happy. And for be honest, I will change nothing.
I love that. Well, I'm really excited for your potential opening soon in the next few weeks.
Thank you very much.
And I come down to Miami every so often. Last time was for a bachelor party, so maybe next time will be for something a little bit less ridiculous. But we'll try to make sure to stop by Pari Pari.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Best of luck, and then we'll keep in touch, and I'll look out for the sign on the street too.
Sure. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Edouard.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, feel free to visit openingsoonpodcast.com for all of our episodes online. If you run a retail store and need updated furniture or signage, please feel free to visit www.signsandmirrors.com. Lastly, if you have any feedback or like to be a guest on the show, email me at alan@signsandmirrors.com. I promise I'll respond. Thanks for listening.